What were you doing in 1993? Do you remember? I do. In 1993, I was 8 years old and I was just introduced to Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau and Ann-Margret when my parents took me to see Grumpy Old Men. Life changing. Life changing. Whoever thought a movie about two older white men who are the same age as my granddad at this time would find some relation to these characters? My cousin Jaquie and I, we are 5 days apart, and my goal still to this day is for us to grow old together, live next door together. We used to live literally next door to each other and just watch each other grow old, watch our kids grow up together, just live life and just spend our life, you know, driving each other crazy. That's the goal. Like, that's what you want to do with your best friend. You want to grow old with them. You want to drive them crazy because you know they'll love you despite anything. Well, that's how this movie Grumpy Old Men is. You have two neighbors who have known each other for decades. Kids have grown up with each other. They knew each other, spouses, all of that, but their friendship is that they're very combative. They're just back and forth. Like, this is what keeps them going. Like, a lot of people say when you retire, you know, you die or you just are bored. Here it is, you have two older men who are retired and yet they're still young and vibrant and going fishing every day out in Minnesota in the freezing cold weather. And here comes Ann-Margret moving to the neighborhood. And these old men got some pep in their step, and they wanted that Ann-Margret. And it was the battle of the friends for the woman, and it was just hilarious. Like, everything about it. And then as I got older, I started doing my research on Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, and I learned that they were like a little dynamic duo in Hollywood. They were like one of Hollywood's best pairs. They did over 10 movies together. They weren't just friends on screen, they were best friends off the screen. And that really resonates with me because that's me and Jaquie. That is us. And what happened after Grumpy Old Men? Before 1995, when we got the sequel, Grumpier Old Men. But after Walter Matthau gave us Grumpy Old Men in 1993, he came back as Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace. Oh, Mr. Wilson! Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon are no longer with us. Ann-Margret is still here, though, girl, and she's still looking fabulous. But I will tell you this. As someone who has not watched all of their films, it is ahead of my time. My dad watched a lot of their movies, and my grandfather. But as someone who is 8, when Grumpy Old Men came out, I can tell you that they have made a lasting impression on my life. Okay, and that speaks volumes of their talent and their work, that they have both been gone since the early 2000s. And yet, I still love this movie, their work. I still love their chemistry. Like, I wish they were still here making great cinema like this. If you haven't seen Grumpy Old Men, what are you waiting for? It is hilarious. We could only be so lucky to have a friendship like their friendship. Only so lucky. It was beautiful. I appreciated the friendship then. And what I appreciate now is me and Jaquie are still as close as we were when we watched this together when we were 8. And here we are about to be 40. And that is exactly the type of relationship I wanted. Because that's exactly the type of relationship they have. And I want to drive her crazy for the rest of my life. Rest in peace, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau. This movie is still amazing. I enjoyed it. I laughed my ass off. Oh, go see it, guys. It's a classic.